Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam said that Dajjal comes with two things, a river and a fire. But his river is a fire. His river is a fire, and his fire is the cool waters of the river. So things are not what they appear to be. Dajjal wants to deceive us. So appearance is different from reality. If we make our judgment only on the external appearance, we will be wrong. We have to go beyond the external appearance to go inside for understanding the things. Dajjal takes the road to Jannah and he makes it look like the road to Jahannam. And Dajjal takes the road to Jahannam and he makes it look like the road to Jannah. Well then, what must we do so that we are not deceived? How can we protect ourselves to ensure that we are not deceived by Dajjal? The Quran answers that question. The story begins in Hadith and then comes to Quran. Nabi Musa alayhi salam is speaking, but it is actually Banu Israel. Nabi Musa alayhi salam gives a khutbah, and it is a very, very great khutbah, very learned, great wisdom. So one of the Israelite people came to him and asked him, "Oh, Nabi Musa alayhi salam, what a fine khutbah. You must be the most learned man in the world." And Nabi Musa replies, but actually it is the reply of his followers, Banu Israel. And he says, "Yes, I am the most learned man in the world," because that is how the Jews believe that they are. They believe that they are the chosen people of Allah. They believe that they are born superior to others. They believe that Jannah is reserved for them. So they believe that they are the elite of mankind. So then when Musa said, "Yes, I am the most learned of all," he's actually speaking for his ummah. But Allah then said, "No, Musa, you are not the most learned. There is one more learned than you." Now every Jew is listening. Who is there more learned than us? So Nabi Musa alayhi salam said, "I want to meet him." Then Allah said, if you want to meet the most learned man, you have to go to Majma'ul Bahrain. You have to go to the place where the two oceans meet. Is it the Pacific Ocean and the Indian Ocean? Or is it the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean? Which oceans is he talking about? You will meet the most learned man at the place where the two oceans meet. Majma'ul Bahrain, the place where the two oceans meet. We say that this is not to be understood literally. Allah is not talking about an actual ocean. He's talking about two different oceans of knowledge. One ocean of knowledge that is externally acquired, and another ocean of knowledge which is internally received. It is sometimes called ilm al-zahir and ilm al-batin. And when these two oceans of knowledge are located in someone, and the two oceans are harmoniously integrated, then you have the most learned man in Akhirul Zaman. So Allah is not saying you are the most learned when you graduate from Darul Ulum. Allah is not saying you are the most learned when you study this kitab, and that 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 kitab. No, the most learned of all men in Akhirul Zaman is the one who has two oceans of knowledge. One ocean from outside and another ocean inside. And these two oceans must come together, Majma'ul Bahrain, and must be harmoniously integrated. And this is the most learned of all men. And the Quran tells us that he is called by the term, they call by him, by the name Khidr alayhi salam. Khidr means green. And Nabi Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam said that Khidr got the name green because he came to a land which was dry and barren, nothing growing. And then he sat down in that land and everything became green, like Jambar. So this is a man whose knowledge does not come from the factory.
From what?
His knowledge does not come from factory. His knowledge is like the rain. His knowledge is like a fresh breeze. His knowledge brings the dead heart back to life. When you listen to him, it's as though you're listening for the first time. But the one from the factory, every time you listen, it's the same thing, and the same thing, and the same thing. So Musa said, I want to meet him. I want to go to where the oceans meet. So Allah says, take a fish, ikan, put it in a basket, and go search for where the two oceans meet. When the fish jump out of the basket and the fish goes in the water, there you will meet him. But Musa believes he is the most learned of all men. And you're asking me, put a fish in a basket and go traveling and wait to see when the fish will jump out of the basket? Sounds funny, eh? So Musa, he took a young boy with him, and the boy had the basket with the fish, and also with some makanan padang. And they're going searching. And after they had walked for some time, then they came to a rock. And Musa alayhi salam said, let us rest for a while. So he took a little sleep. Then when he woke up, let's go. But now after they leave the rock and they keep going, now the travel becomes different. لَقَدْ لَقِينَا مِنْ سَفَرِنَا هَذَا نَصَبًا. This journey is making me tired. When you are walking on the right path in life, no matter how hard you work, no matter if you don't get time to sleep, even if your body is tired, inside of you, you will not be tired. The body will grow old, but inside you will always be young. Why? Because you're walking on Sirat al-Mustaqim. But when you're walking on the wrong road, then not only are you tired outside, but inside of you, you're also tired. Inside, I'm fed up of this world. So, this is a sign for Musa alayhi salam. You are on the wrong road. Musa said, let us stop. Bring me my makan, bring me my makan. Let us eat. I don't know whether it's makanan Surabaya or makanan Padang, which one. So, the young boy then said, I forgot to tell you what happened when we stopped at the rock. And Allah says, no, he did not forget. Shaitan caused him to forget. He said, I forgot to tell you when we stopped by the rock and you were sleeping, the fish jumped out of the basket and made its way into the water. So Musa alayhi salam said, that's what we want. Let's go back quickly. So they returned to the rock. When they reached the rock, they saw a man sitting on the rock. So Musa alayhi salam said, Salamu alaykum. Today, nobody says Salamu alaykum anymore. They say, hi. Hi. So he said, Salamu alaykum. So the man said, what? A greeting like that? In a place like this? Who are you? He said, I am Musa. He said, which Musa? Are you the Musa of Banu Israel? Which means he is not from Banu Israel, but he is the most learned. So the Quran is telling the Jews, in Akhirul Zaman, there'll be those who will be more learned than the Jews. And this message is for you, Jambal. If you are faithful to the Quran, if you recite the Quran, if you study the Quran, if you teach the Quran, then Allah can cause you to become more learned than them. Let us repeat. If you recite the Quran, if you teach the Quran, one day Allah can raise you more learned than all of them. So Musa said, yes, I am Musa of Banu Israel. The man said, in that case, now listen how a learned man speaks. In that case, Allah has given you knowledge I don't have. And Allah has given me knowledge that you don't have. Allah has given you knowledge I don't have, and Allah has given me knowledge that you don't have. And this is the most learned man in the world. But something special about Khidr alayhi salam. Allah says about him, آتَيْنَاهُ رَحْمَةً مِّنْ عِنْدِنَا. We have given him kindness from ourselves. He has rahmah in everything he does, rahmah. وَعَلَّمْنَاهُ مِنْ لَدُنَّا عِلْمًا. Not only has Allah given him rahmah, but Allah has also given him ilm from himself. So, the most learned of all men is the one who has knowledge not only from outside, but also from Allah. And you will know the most learned of all men because he's always kind. But he's sitting on a rock. He's not sitting on the sand. The one who is sitting on the sand, the wind blows this way, he turns this way. And when the wind blows from that way, he turns that way. Sometimes the wind blows from Washington, and he turns to Washington. But not this man. He's sitting on the rock, meaning he's firm in his beliefs. And he doesn't turn this way and that way, each way the wind blows. Even if he's one voice in the world, only one still, he'll stand up for the truth. So Musa alayhi salam says to him, I want to follow you so I can learn from you. He says, no, not possible. إِنَّكَ لَن تَسْتَطِيعَ مَعِيَ صَبْرًا. You will not be able to show patience with me. وَكَيْفَ تَصْبِرُ عَلَى مَا لَمْ تُحِطْ بِهِ خُبْرًا. How can you show patience about that which you cannot understand? Meaning that the one who believes he is very high, he's arrogant, he believes he's the elite, that man you can't teach him. So Musa alayhi salam said, I promise you, I will be patient. So then Khidir alayhi salam said, okay, you can follow me, but don't ask any question. Kabuli, no question. I will explain to you. You don't ask any question. But this, Musa said, I'm the most learned of all men. Now you tell him, don't ask any question. This is not the normal way of a teacher. The normal way of a teacher is to teach and be patient with the student. And the student can ask as many questions as he wants. That is a good teacher. But now when you find these people who are arrogant and they believe they are the most learned in the world, you cannot teach them this way. You have to teach them a different way. Don't ask any questions. So Musa said, okay. And now they're traveling. And they came to the river, and they want to cross the river, so they have to go in a boat. The boatmen, they know Khidir alayhi salam, so they don't charge any money. But Khidir alayhi salam, he goes down in the bottom of the boat, and he takes a metal that you use in the garden, and he makes a hole in the boat. Damage the boat. Musa is very angry. Why did you do that? These are poor fishermen. They need a boat. Why did you damage the boat? You have done something wrong. Musa alayhi salam makes judgment based on knowledge from outside, and his judgment is wrong. Because he said, you've done something bad. Then when they left the boat, again they're walking, and they came to a little boy, and now listen carefully, This is a story, this didn't actually happen, no. Musa alayhi salam is watching, and Khidir, he kills the boy. Now, I don't want you to go start killing any boys. Careful. So he killed the boy. Musa alayhi salam is very angry. This boy is innocent. How can you kill an innocent child? Musa alayhi salam made his judgment based on knowledge from outside. And for the second time, he's wrong. And then they went on walking until they came to a town. They are tired, they are hungry, they are travelers, so they expect some hospitality, some money. But the people of the town offered no hospitality. The town is just like Manhattan.
Like Jakarta.
So there's a wall is sur, and the wall is collapsing. And Khidir alayhi salam spent his money and he rebuilt the wall. So Musa alayhi salam says, what nonsense is this? These people offered no hospitality. You build the wall for them. You should at least ask for a refund of your money. So Khidir alayhi salam said, you made a promise, you will not ask any questions. When you broke the promise first time with the boat, then you asked me to forgive you. And I forgave you. Then when you broke the promise the second time with the boy, you said to me that if you break the promise anymore, then I can turn you away. And now you've broken the promise the third time. Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam commented on this passage of the Quran. He said, I wish that Musa alayhi salam was more patient. He would have spent more time with Khidir alayhi salam. We would have learned more. But now Khidir says to Musa, Haza firakum bayni wa baynik. Now you must separate yourself from me. But before I send you away, let me give you the ta'weel, the interpretation of the events. Ta'weel, to interpret, that knowledge comes only from Allah. And when we make ta'weel, only Allah can confirm it's correct. So this boat belonged to the poor fishermen. And the wicked king, meaning the wicked government, was coming to seize the boat. This is the world in which we live today. And when I damaged the boat, I actually saved the boat, because the king will not take the damaged boat. And when the king is gone, then they can repair the boat. So what appeared to you to be bad was actually good. That is the world of Dajjal. What appears to be bad can actually be good. But for that you must be able to see with knowledge inside. And that little boy I killed, he was going to grow up and destroy the iman of his parents. He was going to be wicked. And I killed him to protect his parents. And I prayed that Allah might send them a better child. What you considered to be bad was actually good. And that wall, which was collapsing, in that town there was a believer, a mu'min, and he was dying, and he was leaving behind some small children, orphan, and he had some money, but he could not find anyone he could trust. So he dug a hole and he buried the money. You can do that with dinar and dirham, but if you bury paper money, what's going to happen? So he buried the money, and then he built a wall over the money. The reason why he built the wall is if people come with metal detector to check to see, they will not be able to find. And because the wall was collapsing, Allah asked me to rebuild it. You considered to be bad was actually good. This is the message for Banu Israel. That if you make judgment the way Musa made judgment in Surah Al-Kahf, you make mistake. And the one who will be correct is the one who has knowledge from Allah. And this is Khidir alayhi salam. So if you want a teacher, if you want a guide in Akhir Zaman, you have to search for a Khidir alayhi salam. The normal Sheikh, the Maulana Mufti, he cannot manage Akhir Zaman. The normal Ustad cannot handle Akhir Zaman. It has to be someone like Khidir alayhi salam. We have a few minutes. Any questions?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Saya mau tanya, untuk mencari guru yang seperti Khidir itu mungkin ada apa ya, semacam ciri-cirinya mungkin?
How to find a teacher like Khidir?
Good question.
What is the characteristic of?
If you want to find and search for a teacher like Khidir, you have to look for the footprints. What is footprints?
Jejak kaki. Kaki foot.
Footprints, yeah.
Jejak.
The footprints. Which footprints are you looking for? Number one, he sits on the rock. He doesn't sit on the sand. And number two, he teaches this way very nicely to those who are humble. But to those who are arrogant, he teaches differently. Don't ask any question. For the footprints, he's always kind. Allahumma jalla jalaluh. One of the footprints is that he's always kind. Another footprint is that he sees with two eyes, external eye and the internal eye. Another footprint is that he has the two oceans of knowledge and they are harmoniously integrated. Another footprint is that when he gives knowledge, it's like rain falling from the sky. It brings the dead heart back to life and everything becomes green. Tomorrow, inshallah, tomorrow morning, we'll teach you how to get nur inside the heart. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين آمين.